Hi everyone, it's Neve here, and normally I don't speak into this, particularly on my Instagram, my Facebook or my social media. Some time ago I made the decision to not speak so publicly about this, and to some degree, I think that was probably a wise decision at the time. However, now, in the midst of what is unfolding in the world, I feel like it's time to really speak into this, and to start having these conversations on social media at this level, because we really are at a point. We are at a crossroads where now we, as individual human beings, get to choose. We have choice in how this whole current narrative is going to play out. And in order for us to choose, it's important that we become aware. And not just aware here, but aware of what is really unfolding in our world, and to be able to see what's unfolding from so many different perspectives, because there are so many dimensional layers to what's unfolding in our world right now. And even for the most aware, tuned in, tapped in individual, it can be quite confusing, confronting to navigate and to truly understand what is unfolding, and to extract your own truth. So I felt that it was really important to speak into this, because now more than ever it's so important that we cultivate the ability to discern for ourselves, the ability to see for ourselves, the ability to understand the complexities of what is unfolding on many different levels, to understand what's happening on a political level, to understand what's happening at an exopolitical level, to understand what's happening at a planetary level, what's understanding even at a cosmic level, and to really understand what's happening at an emotional and physiological level as we're moving through these vast changes in our environment right now. Up until now, it's been a challenge for even, like I said, the most aware person to be able to truly see. And yet now, at this time, a space has been created for all of us to come back into ourselves, to come back into our centre, and to develop the skill set, the awareness to really navigate the many different narratives, the many different dimensions or perspectives that are available to us. So we are in the midst of a global pandemic, and in some ways this whole experience we are in is giving us an opportunity to see everything in a new light. So what is unfolding is what was once unseen, as we are now grounded to a halt. What was once unseen is now coming to light. And in the midst of that, what's happening in some ways is there is a huge revelation unfolding, and we're starting to see things that have been going on in the world. Some which may be, in some ways, a very difficult pill to swallow once that truth comes to the surface. And also we will be invited in to see everything in a new light. Some have been on this journey for some time, and some are only just beginning this journey. And in some ways we could say that it's akin to a modern day vision quest. A vision quest traditionally in Indigenous cultures is this idea, it's an initiation into yourself, where you would wander into the wilderness and fend for yourself with little food or water, and you would be left only to rely on the deep awareness, the deep innate potential of who you are as a human being to be able to survive and find your way back home. And that initiation isn't necessarily just about finding your way back home to where you reside. It's the deeper, it's a physical, mental, emotional, and even the spiritual journey back home to yourself, to discover the true capacity that you have as a human being. And in that vision quest, an internal vision is acquired, and that internal vision is the ability to see and to navigate many different dimensional layers of reality, to understand your deep innate connection with the natural realms, to understand and access your heightened sense of intuition, your internal navigation system. And that process it helps you to distinguish the woods from the trees. It helps you to see what is real and what is not. And for some time, you could say that as a society, as a culture, we, in some ways, you could say we lost our sight. And we lost our ability to truly see what was real and what was not, and the lines became very blurred. And even in today's world, it has become increasingly more difficult to navigate the unseen realms, to navigate the subtleties of vibrational energies in our music, on our media, to be able to navigate and understand and discern what narratives are based in truth and what narratives are based on distortion. Because everything in this universe, there is an equal and exact opposite. And so for some time, those lines have become blurred. And it has been really hard for us to distinguish for ourselves. And in some ways, there's been so many distractions. We've been caught up in so many different distractions that we even forgot, to some degree, the deep and innate capacity that we truly have to see for ourselves, our capacity to truly be curious and to cultivate our own truth and awareness. And we become so accustomed to and conditioned to simply accept the status quo, to simply accept the narrative that is being told. And yet, you know, when one goes out on a vision quest, they leave the world behind and they completely unplug from the outside world, and they are fully immersed in nature with nothing other than what is here within, to be able to truly understand who they are at their core and truly understand their relationship with this world. So what happens on a vision quest is when you completely unravel and unplug from the external world and you go into the wilderness, there's a process of unlearning and unraveling, and through that process you begin to see yourself in a new light. You begin to see yourself through the eyes of a child, through the innocence, your innocent nature. You begin to see yourself through a naked lens. You begin to discover who you are all over again. And sometimes you begin to realize that there is a lot that you've been told that no longer serves, that there's been a lot that you've been told that is no longer true for you. And again, the same about the world. Once you begin to see yourself in a new light, you too then begin to see the world in a new light, and you begin to see the world through a whole new lens. Every story, every myth, every folklore, every fable, every narrative that you have been told, suddenly now you begin to see that through a whole new spectrum. You begin to see it through a whole new lens and translate its meaning in a whole new dimensional layer. And in some ways this is a process that is unfolding right now. And we do have choice. We have choice to see this as an opportunity to embark on the most magical internal vision quest. Because there is no one person that is going to be able to extract the truth in this grand, complex event that is unfolding. The only way that you will find certainty in this time is your willingness and your courage to go on the most courageous journey there is, and that is to embark into the wilderness and embrace everything that's unfolding right now, to empower yourself, to educate yourself, to explore all the different complexities, to explore all the different narratives, but from here, from your center, from your center of your awareness, to be able to be willing, even if that means seeing things that you do not want to see, even if that means looking at things that you do not want to look at, even if that means questioning the beliefs that you've held so dear, the beliefs that uphold your reality, the belief systems that in some ways you thought you would never question. The time is really here right now for us to be courageous enough to embark on this journey. And this process, this journey, we will not be able to translate it through our mind alone. We will not be able to translate it through the intellect alone. And this vision quest is not necessarily about cultivating a vision from here or from here. This is the remembrance. It is the descent of your awareness into your body, connecting with a deeper and more primal intelligence in your heart and in your center. And this primal intelligence has the capacity to translate information, complex information, frequencies and dimensional realities through your emotions and through your senses. So in simple terms, this process that we are in right now is asking us to develop the awareness and the skills to be able to find our own center, access our own intuitive awareness, and to begin to understand the many different dimensional layers of reality, so that when we do begin to discover and explore and educate ourselves around certain narratives that are being shared in the world today, that we then can translate them through our own lens. And we can translate them and understand where that narrative, where that script, where that story, where that intelligence, or where that belief system resides within the grander spectrum of reality. Now, I know some people may be listening to this, and some of what I'm sharing may or may not resonate. And that is totally okay. In fact, I actually feel at this time, it's now more than ever, we need to question everything. It is not a time for us to take what someone says as truth. It is time for us to explore, be open to explore it, but ultimately to translate it and intuit it through our own awareness. Because truth then it is only the result of an internal process that we go through. So some of what I'm sharing may go over your head. Some of what I'm sharing, you may feel it on a deep level. You may not fully understand it. But what I will say is I am inviting all of us to use this time wisely and to be courageous enough to question everything, to explore the complexities of all things, and remember to come back here and to translate it through your own lens. To ask questions, because questions lead to answers. And this time right now is the most liberating time that we have ever seen. 2020. You know, the idea of 2020 vision, cultivating a greater sight, a greater vision, a greater awareness. There are so many different complexities, facets, layers, dimensional layers to what we call reality. And it's time for us to truly remember the nature of reality. What is real? This universe is based on the principle of contrasting expressions. So in everything there is what is real and there is what is not real. So if that is the case in every element of reality, our job is to seek out the threads of truth for ourselves. To be in what is real. And in some ways, this event that we are in right now is the most powerful opportunity for us to truly stand in what is real. To come back to the original premise of what it really means to be human. It is the remembrance of our original human intelligence, human memory. And recently in one of my workshops I spoke into this process, the process that we are moving through, which is this unlearning, unraveling, akin to a reversal, an inner reversal of our understanding of who we are. And some have been on this journey for some time, and some, including myself, we have been on this journey and we have been cultivating this awareness an ability to see through all the facets of reality. And some are just beginning that journey. It doesn't matter where we are. There's no one person further ahead, or there's no one person better or worse. In fact, we are all exactly where we need to be. We are all exactly holding the unique focal point of this current narrative right now, because everyone's perspective is required for our synthesis and understanding, not only of the bigger picture, but our synthesis and understanding of the nature of reality. We are in the midst of experiencing multi-dimensional life, which means there are many different dimensional layers to this reality that we call our world today. And this is the time we begin to cultivate that inner sight and discernment. This is us truly stepping in and experiencing what it means to be sovereign.